I'll show you how I trade in the day. Just a back test of Friday? Yeah, Friday. I wasn't trading by here, but we can just go ahead and I'll just talk about what I would have been thinking, especially around when my trades come in. So if we just, cycle through some time frames and look at some levels. Obviously moved into this daily fair value gap. Got some 15-minute lows. I just got wicked down. I would count those as equal lows really. What else we got? If we go on the 4 hour, you got this gap here. Wouldn't use that because of the PDR. You could look at the low and the high of it, see what's going on with that. Other than that, I wouldn't use anything. I wouldn't even really use this, but if you're looking for something to use, you can justify something out of that. The only levels I was using on this day was all these daily levels here, plus this one up here. So if we go onto the minute time frame now, we can kind of see the degradation of these levels. Ever since we tapped into here, we've been slowly going down, which led me to believe on the day that we are going to come to here. It's kind of daily. Okay, we're going to try and hold all the blocks failing, and you can see in the PDRs that we're trying to hold it, trying to get above, failing it, kind of sweeping equal highs here. Sweeping equal highs, we can break the lows. We do break the lows, we come lower. We fail the PDR, we get under the PDR, hold the PDR, meaning our next target here is the next PDR down here, and if all remains true, we should see the same type of pattern all the way down to here, which is what I was anticipating on the day. I didn't start trading for a long time here. I got in the chart like 1:30. Didn't start trading properly until about 2:30. Just move these candles forward, see if all of that is true. So we're failing the PDR again. We're leaving equal highs. Leaving equal highs up here. Closing lows. Not able to regain the order blocks. This will have a momentary, it will momentarily hold, but I think the bigger picture, you'll go down, straight down, sweeps the highs, it breaks the lows, lows broke, coming back up to the PDR, also the order block being here, get rid of some of these lines. Order block holding you down. Next target should be the PDR down here. Yep. Near enough to go straight down to the next one. So we're now at the target from up here, daily to daily. The moment you see this not holding, you're straight up saying, okay, down here is probably the target. These PDRs are the confirmation if that's happening or not, and you can clearly see that this was confirmation that it was happening. We have those, did we not have like 15-minute lows somewhere? Don't know, don't care. Pretty sure we did. I think it was over here. I'm going to get rid of this now because I didn't look at this in the day. Wouldn't even cared about that. Moving forward, get to around the time that I started logging on. Okay. I wasn't on yet, but couple of levels here I had on my screen. Got the equal lows down here. Okay. The only thing I'd really care about right now is that we could see the cycle through this to go higher if that's going to happen. Turn this into a inversion fair value gap. This might be the midpoint of that. Failing that midpoint. Haven't retested down to the bottom of the range ever since we closed higher, so we can still see this hold. Does it hold the higher? It holds the fair value gap. It doesn't hold the fair value gap. It just holds the bottom of the range. You don't really need to know what it fucking held. Okay, keep moving forward. Okay, the moment you close over here, it's quite a good entry, or not entry, sorry, it's quite a good confirmation that we can move higher. We have, I don't know how I always do that. Have these highs that have been spiked, create the move down with the high up here. Wrong button. Didn't close it on the 15, so haven't closed the midpoint of that. It's around 130 now. Okay, cool. This is where I started trading. We kind of spiked the range down here. When I see spikes, I also just feel like it does just create equal lows as well with a spike. So the likelihood of it testing back down to here later on is going to be higher than if obviously we swept the range, we closed below it in quite a way and started moving higher. Where did I start trading? Oh, and also I was looking at this. I forgot about this. I was looking at these lows as that sweep. So that was another thing that would have went with this level, in my opinion. Creating equal lows / spike in the range, something we can come back to in the future. And then this level was equal lows that got swept. Got completely swept, meaning if we swept that, we will go ahead and go above these highs. So I got a trade around 214. I can just pull up my chart, my Google Sheet. Okay, I got one at 224. Yeah, that seems right. Things I was looking at in the moment here would have been this if we was closing it. We did. If we're closing it, we can go ahead up to this high at some point. I remember debating on going for the midpoint of this wick because it was an ATT, never came to test, missed that. And then I went for the midpoint of this order block around the moment it tested here. It never tested back down at all in that candle. And then what was the time? 224. 224. Okay, yeah, that was the entry. That was my entry. Was this with my stop loss? I think it was here. Pretty sure it was there. Yeah. Reason behind that Was that was just the exact reason I said about it. Close the midpoint of this. The whole sweep in the bottom. We've not got up to the target yet. No reason to go lower. Didn't care about these wicks here. Close the midpoint of this wick here and was holding it. That was something else I was looking at. This was getting held quite nicely, and if you can see, the candle I got into was still holding above that as well. Same thing with these wicks here on the bottom. Wicks getting held. There was a lot here to say that this was going up. Ended up trailing to around here and getting stopped out on a little move down there on top step that got me out to the dollar before it ran higher. Misplay on my behalf. I should have been trailed a lot higher here, considering my target was here, but I thought I'd play for the bigger move. Unfortunately, it stopped me out to the tick and then ran. So yeah, we'll keep going. Target has been, oh sorry, no, my target was up here, not here. Target was up here. So yeah, I was, you know, clearly I wasn't trailing too aggressively then. Thought if my target's up here, trail here will be fine, but clearly not. Target's been hit now. Still think you can go a lot higher though, because of what happened with these here. Cranios equal lows / spike in the range. If that's the case, we should get up to this level pretty easily. So throughout the whole day I was just using these PDRs to cycle through all of that and get rid of a lot of these things here. My next trade was at 249. It was a break even. We can go see what that trade idea was. As you can see, they're just using these levels quite nicely here. 249 coming up. Okay, this was a good setup that I missed, and then ended up getting the 249 trade instead. So like I said, I think we're going to higher. This isn't going to push us down because of what happened on the bottom. We came down to retest the order book low. We came all the way up. We closed the high that brought us down to that, meaning in my opinion we was coming down to here to hold this to move higher. That with the daily level, we had an ATT coming up in a couple of seconds here, couple of minutes. Okay, ATT has been put in now, and also we were still holding the midpoint of this order block above it, meaning I'm not seeing this as a failing move. So I would have got in here. Let me just look at the thing. Oh, I got in earlier. I did try that. My bad. I did try that and it failed. Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, I failed that. No reason why this couldn't have worked out. I think this was a pretty good look. The only thing I remember failing to identify was the equal lows. I was kind of seeing these as equal lows here, and but after that break even I was like, oh wait, we have these lows down here. This is going to be 10 times better if we can sweep these and then we can move higher. So that break even was a misplay on my behalf, as in I should have been a lot more aware of the move, but I still think that was a valid attempt. There's no reason why that couldn't have worked out. Obviously you don't know if it's going to go down or it's going to hold here. Regardless, move forward. We do end up sweeping those, and I think an ATC gets put in, which it does. Next trade was at 251. Break even. Don't know how I got break even. Let's take a look. Yeah, my stop loss was way too tight. Yeah, I remember this, missing out on the whole move just because of that. Ended up getting here, getting trailed out straight away. When it moved up, break even, came down, stopped me out. Is what it is. I think I've even put there that it was a stupid, yeah, absolutely stupid decision. No idea why I put my stop loss that tight, which is true. Stop loss was way too tight. No reason why you need to do that. This would have been perfect. Because it was an ATT, I would have just gone for the retest. Once we get back to these equal lows, I would have just got in here. That would have been a better entry. Taking that trailing break even. Once we put in this higher, close over this higher, break even's fine. And then once we get the move up, we could have tried to here, and then started trailing, however you wanted to. But the whole basis of this is we've swept equal lows. If we swept equal lows, we can break these highs pretty easily, and onset us up to the target, which is the order block open. Okay, and this is where you really see the power of the PDRs as well. Daily here, holding right, you sweep, come up, hold off of the PDR, move back down to the other PDR, hold that. If we're holding that, we can get above here, leading us to the next PDR being up here. So if you're thinking that right here, 304 candle, good entry. I got in at 306. Take a look at the entry. Oh no, this was my entry. I think I just missed. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I think I just mistyped that. Should be 1 minute earlier. But I would not have got that trade. 305. Cool. Yeah. We missed that. We thought, okay, we can still go higher. Come up to here. Close these highs. Alright, these highs have been closed. This got closed. I remember looking at this, meaning this moved down to this PDR. I was seeing it as, okay, we're just moving down to cycle the levels. No reason why we should go down if there's not really anything in this new range that's holding us down. The only thing I remember looking at as something that could go against us was this. But because that was so far away from where we got in, there's no reason why you wouldn't go for that. We was also holding the fair value gap as well here. I was looking at this wick instead though of the fair value gap. Cycle up, cycle up. How much did I get on this? I got trailed out. Yeah, I remember, yeah, trading way too aggressive here. Another flaw in my trading is trading too aggressively. There was a little 15-second range, it moved down, stopped me out and continued up. It went straight up to my target. Something I'm going to try and move away from is trading way too aggressively. As in, you know, if it's more likely to stay in the trade here over, you know, here or here, then I should stay here. So something I'm going to be working on next week is trailing a bit slower, still aggressive but slower. Another thing as well, right, you move up to this level, you close above it, right, you close above it, holding this wick with the PDR. Clearly if we're holding this, we're going up to here. Would have tried this, and I remember trying this, never retested to it, because if you see here, it's still 5R up to that. That missed. Would have got break even anyway. Shallowly missed the target. Still thinking we can get there. I don't care about any of this. Still think we can get there. So, I think I have one more trade here around 4. Yeah, 418. Which was... Okay, cool. We just move this forward to 418. Same shit happening, right? Another thing as well is... Okay, spiked, meaning, in my opinion, if you spike, you create equal lows with a spike, and the creation of equal lows, you flip direction. So if that's the case, we can get up to here. And we have equal lows and equal lows for the future. As you can see here as well, same thing. Oh yeah, and also remember there was an internal sweep, another thing as well. If you can see, same cycle up with these PDRs as well throughout the whole day. Could not give a shit about the look of this. I'm not looking at this and going, oh, okay, we're gonna go hold this and go down, or the real order block here, which is this level. For me, it's a momentarily flips direction. That's what it does. So we put in a low, create equal lows. This I remember missing and double guessing because it was an 80. There was an ATT coming up, and I didn't want to get in too early. And then I kind of saw this, and I was using the potential ATT to then put in a 03 ATT, maybe sweeping this range to go higher. So I missed that whole trade there. We can actually keep this wick here. Remember using this. Okay. Closed above these highs. Trade is coming. Did we already get it? No, a couple of minutes. 418. Okay, yeah, I know what the trade is. 418. Right here, sweep. ATT gets put in. We take this. Very simple. Very, very simple. Putting equal lows, closing above these highs. Still haven't got to our internal target here. Didn't even test the order block. Exterior target, sorry. Didn't test the order block, no reason to flip direction. Sweep here into the lower range. We got closed to the midpoint of this candle. Closed straight above here. If we pull that trade up, wrong one. Here, okay, so we got trade out near enough at these highs. Logical target would have been the highs after sweeping, which is correct. So yeah, I think that was a pretty easy trade, very straightforward. Only reason why you might miss something like that is just overthinking it. When there's nothing created yet, like for example, when it's here and there's nothing created, obviously it looks like the next candle is going to be down, next candle after that's going to be down, it's just going to continue down. That's not how I think anymore. I just enter when there's nothing created at that point, because you don't need anything to be created. You don't need a whole range to then enter off of this afterwards if there's nothing there, but it looks like a great setup. I would take it. So for me, sweep here, moving down into this range, ATT, high time frame, literally you got everything here. So I took that, and then yeah, I got trade out just below the target, so I didn't really miss out on anything now. Tried for the bigger move. Now we tested the order block. which like I was saying, test the order block, we can get a flipping direction. So if we play this out, we do get that flipping direction. See how it's failing to break the low. Break the lows down here for, we'll bring it up. Because it's momentarily flipping direction, we're still holding these PDR levels. We've still not hit the target. And now the target's finally been hit. So I'm not looking at this to just, oh okay, we've came up to this. Yeah, we're just going to forget about exterior idea. We're going to get confused. We're going to overthink, everything on other time frames. No, I don't really care. I understand when things are flipping momentarily and when things are actually breaking ranges. So yeah, I think from there we get straight up to our next target. And I was also using PDR in these levels. I didn't get any other trades off this, but I was looking at the PDRs for this gap. I was looking at what was going on here. Fairly simple, really. There's no there's no sign of moving down at all. There's no targets until up here. Not really got any highs. We have a high here. That's about it. Until there, we got one up here and the actual high being here. So yeah, it's quite clear to see what's going on at this point, and no reason to go lower, really. So personally, for me, getting something like this here, creating those equal lows, getting above our target, just closing highs as we go, coming back down to the order block that started the whole move up after the daily was broken above, holding that. ATT gets put in. I would personally have tried the midpoint of this, would have missed, which is completely fine. You missed that. Would have tried the midpoint of this wick, that missed, fine, fair enough. But the thing is, if you really want to get into this trade and you wasn't trying to maximize your wins or your profits as much as I do, and then just take whatever gets you in, which, just get the order block. The moment you gain this and you're holding this, you should get here anyway. With everything you're saying about sweeping, closing highs, just everything to cycle up, and then you shouldn't overthink, because there's nothing being created at this point. Don't overthink it and go, oh, I don't want to get in because there's nothing to go off of. There is stuff to go off of. Direction, equal lows, ATT still above the high time frame, no targets above telling us that we have to flip down. That there's a lot here saying we're going to go up. And then we do. We go all the way up, straight to target, and then I would just do the same thing in this this fair value gap. I'll just use the ATTs, and because it's a fairly big gap, there's nothing saying you can't then use another ATT on that as well. And if we see here, we get to that and we just fall straight down. Cool. Anyway, just gonna leave the video there. Just wanted to kind of make a quick one about the trades I took and whatnot. So yeah.